Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Karishma from An Inkling of Curry, and I make videos on calligraphy, Procreate calligraphy, and basically a lot of stuff. I'm gonna continue uploading videos on a more regular schedule, so do subscribe if you want more content. So in today's video, we're going to learn how to create a pointed pen brush in Procreate for you to do your lettering. Now you can use this brush to write in the copperplate script, to write in a modern script. You can use it for Spencerian, you can use it for a number of different things. So if this is something that interests you, do continue watching and stick around till the end of the video where I show you how this pen exactly works, and you can see how it writes on the surface and everything. So if this is something that you would like to know how to make, do watch the whole video. So when you first open your Procreate app, you want to just create a new canvas there, and you're going to choose the square option. So that's 2048 into 2048 pixels. You pick that option, and the first thing that you do is you change your background color to black, complete black. All right. So essentially what we're doing here is we're going to create a shape that we're going to use in our brush. So first we're going to turn on our drawing guide, and it's going to be like this, the grid, and we want to make sure that the grid size is at 65 pixels, the thickness is at 64%, and the opacity is at like between 30 and 50%, and change the color accordingly so you can view your grid on the black. So now you're just going to go into your brush library, and from the calligraphy section we're going to choose the monoline brush. And what you want to do is just draw a straight line which is 10 squares across. So you draw your straight line, go 10 squares across, and hold down your pen so that it gets converted to an exact straight line. Okay, so now what you want to do is choose the layer, and you want to duplicate it, and from the top there you're going to choose that select option, and you want to choose the green dot right there, and you want to change the rotation angle to 55 degrees. All right, so we have that, and now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna place it right there, and essentially we're creating this parallelogram shape. So we just want to make sure that it's aligned properly and everything, and the lines meet at a good angle, and it's sharp at the edges. All right, so I'm just doing a little adjusting there, and yeah, there you go. So now that that's done, again we are gonna take the same layer, like this new layer that we created, and we're gonna duplicate it again. Okay, and now we're just gonna move that line again to the right over there, and we have three sides of our parallelogram ready. Now we're just gonna adjust it again so that it meets at a proper sharp angle at the edges, and once that's done, we're just gonna choose the layer with the horizontal line on top, and we're gonna duplicate it again. Okay, so again choose the select option and bring it down till you have this little slanted square type of shape, and make sure that they all join together, and adjust it accordingly with the sharp edges and everything. And once you're happy with it, what you want to do is you're gonna merge all these layers together so that they just form one coherent shape. Now to do that, we're going to open up the layers panel right there and choose the topmost layer, and just click on merge down, and do that for the next two as well till you're just left with one layer. And now you're just gonna choose the color white, and we want to fill in the shape completely with white. So you just choose your color, drag it out, and fill in your shape. Okay, so now that that's done, you can turn off your drawing guide, and you want to okay, I reduced the size there, but you want to go back and maintain it at the size we made it, and we're gonna choose the select option, turn on snapping and magnetics, and you want to align that shape to the middle of your canvas. All right, so So just, can you see those orange lines right there? So you want to keep adjusted so that it remains in the middle of the canvas. So now that that's done, you're gonna swipe down with 3 fingers and choose the copy option. All right, and now you're gonna go into your brush studio and create a new brush with the plus sign. So the first thing that we want to do is go to the shape option, and we want to click the edit button there, and we're going to say import and click on paste. So when we do that, our shape has been imported. All right, so that's the first step in creating your new brush. Now that your shape is created, now we can edit the settings so that we can create our pointed pen brush. So we first have our stroke path, and you want to keep all the 3 settings at none. Then we move on to stabilization. So under streamline, we want to keep the amount at a maximum, so that's at 100%, and we want to keep the pressure at none. Under stabilization, we want to have the amount at 40%. So once that's adjusted, you can play around with these settings, but these are just the settings that I use. And under motion filtering, you want to keep both of them at none. Now under tapering, you just want to keep both those points at the end. The tip sizes are turned off. You want to keep all of these settings at a minimum or none, and you want to keep the tip as sharp. Alright, and you keep the tip animation as on, and under touch taper, all of the settings remain the same as in the default brush. Alright, so now we move on to the shape settings. So here we don't really change anything. Then we move down. These 4 settings remain off. The improved filtering at the end there is chosen. And then under grain, we want to make sure that our grain is blank, so it's just like a plain white surface. That's the default, so you won't have to change anything. Now you want to have the movement as rolling, so it'll be towards the end over there. The scale will be at 47%. Zoom will be completely full. The depth will be at a maximum, and yeah, everything else will remain the same. Okay, so brightness, contrast remains 0. The grain filtering, again, we have improved filtering, and 3D grain, the grain follows the camera. You want to turn that on as well. So I think that is, again, it remains in the default settings, so you don't really have to change anything there, right? Okay, so now we move on to rendering. You want to choose the intense blending option right there, and we don't really change anything else. So the flow remains at maximum. The wet and burnt edges remain at none. The blend modes remain, there'll be multiply and normal, and then you want to turn on your luminance blending. So under wet mix, we only change 2 settings. Under the pull option, we will make it at 50%, and under the charge option, we make it 0%, and all the other options will remain the same as in the default brush. So now we move on to the color dynamics option, and we don't change any of these settings here. This is content for another video, so we will talk about it then. And now we move on to the dynamics option. So as you can see, there's no variation in our brush right now, so we're going to change a few settings. So under speed, we're going to change the size to -71%, and we're gonna increase the opacity to a maximum level right there. Okay, and we're gonna keep under jitter, we're gonna keep the size and opacity as none. Now under the Apple Pencil settings, we're gonna make the size under the pressure settings as maximum, so that's what's gonna give us the variation between thin and thick strokes. Then we're gonna make our opacity to none. We're gonna make our flow value to -4%, and we're gonna make our bleed as none. Okay, so you can see right there, we're already starting to have our little brush almost ready. Now under this tilt graph, we're gonna make the line at 0% right there. Okay, so we're gonna pull that down and make it 0%. and everything else remains at none. Okay, and we're gonna have our size compression turned on. Now under the properties options, we're gonna turn on the orient to screen option. The preview size, we're going to increase that to around 60%. So yeah, let's see. I think yeah, it was 60. Yeah, 60% is good, and we're gonna make the smudge to a maximum. Now under brush behavior, we're gonna have a maximum size set to around 62%, and our minimum size will remain none, or we can make it 0, and our maximum opacity and minimum opacity will both be set at a maximum level. So now our brush is ready. At the end, you can add your name and your signature to the brush that you created, and yeah, you can just see how the brush is writing. And yeah, it's a really nice contrasting line, and you get really fine hairlines too when you reduce the size of the brush. So yeah, and you can also get your little squared tops and bottoms. This is mainly due to the fact that we use that parallelogram shape. So now I'm just going to do a little demo, and let's see how this pen writes. All right. So here I just have some copper plate guidelines that I've kept in the background, and I've reduced the size of my brush to 17%, and I'm just gonna write a little phrase. I'm just gonna write hello YouTube, and you can see that my hairlines are super fine, and I get a decent contrast with my downstrokes as well. Now if you want to increase the thickness of your downstrokes, you can just increase the size of your brush. And with this brush you also get the squared bottoms and squared tops that is so necessary for copper plate script. Now so this was possible only because of the shape that we created in the beginning for this brush. If you don't need squared bottoms and squared tops, you can just use a round shape or a square shape for your brush. So that was it for this tutorial. So if you have any suggestions on how to improve the brush, do let me know in the comments. And if you liked the video and found it helpful, let me know that as well. So I'm just going to be linking all my socials and my links and everything down below in the description box. So yes, do check that out, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.